I had this horrible dream this morning, right? Do you guys ever dream that in your dream you've cheated on your missus, on your girlfriend? You don't dream about the cheating, not in like a sexual way, and then you wake up and you're like, oh no, I've cheated on Molly. I'm gonna have to tell her I've cheated on her. And so you go over and then you go, oh, I actually haven't. And then you feel really euphoric.
Shut up. I'm talking.
Shut up, I'm talking, shut up, I'm talking, shut up, I'm talking, shut up, I'm talking, shut up, shut up, shut up, I'm talking, shut up, shut up.
We said we'd have guests. We said we would.
And we fulfilled the promise.
we fulfilled it because, as you all know, we want to try and get to David Lynch.
Yep.
That's our goal with this podcast.
You're one stepping stone.
Wow.
We figured
What's that pipeline?
We don't know yet.
Well, this was one of the first questions I wanted to ask.
Okay.
First off, Jacksepticeye, everybody.
Everybody.
Welcome.
What an honour it is to have you.
No, guys, please.
And you wore white too. You wore white.
I did, after Labor Day.
What's Labour Day?
I don't know.
Okay.
Yeah, no, neither. Someone mentioned it to me, and I was
You're
like,
just not supposed to wear white after Labor Day, but that's American, so I don't
Oh.
get it.
yeah, we
This is a British podcast.
Yeah,
Let's
it was
just
really
set that
weird.
out in the back.
But Tom mentioned he's wearing white because we try and avoid wearing white for the cameras. But you didn't explain yourself. You just went, and you're wearing white.
And you also didn't tell me not to
And he
wear
didn't-
white.
no one warned you. He just kind of jabbed at you for no
What
reason.
I'm saying is I'm wearing dark green, so
That's because we have a wardrobe.
Yep.
We have a
Yeah.
podcast wardrobe. We didn't.
I
No,
dress like a 4-year-old.
it's fine. No, hey, look,
it's all right, mate.
hey, just because I'm
I-
vintage.
You do look
He's
really
retro.
good.
Thank you very much.
I do like cord.
These were bought by the team. I actually. Oh no, these are mine. Never mind. I'm going to take credit.
Okay.
There.
Are you a big fan of the 60s, 70s?
No, the team were. I think,
Oh.
as you can tell by the set.
Right. I
It's-
do not
it's
match
vintage.
any of this.
It's neither do we. I think that's the point.
Okay.
We're just two young boys in an old
I'm
world.
trying to make you look good.
I appreciate that. Speaking of which, if you want to really make us look good, do you actually have any ties to David Lynch at all?
No. Sorry.
Not even like.
We both have great hair.
Okay.
He does have great hair.
He does. That's his whole thing, isn't it?
I would
feel like
I would
it's film
say-
directing.
Say
is
his
his whole
directing's
thing,
probably.
No. Everyone's like, the hair guy.
Yeah.
He's not allowed to do anything anymore. He's not allowed to leave his house.
What?
He has like
Oh, he got
issues.
diagnosed. Yeah.
What?
I can't remember what he was diagnosed with, but he's not allowed. He has to do like directing from home.
How the fuck are we going
It's
to have
not-
him on the podcast, Tom?
We have to go to his gaff, mate.
We're going to have to record at his house.
Pull up at the Lynch gaff.
Let's.
Sorry.
David's house. Let's call it David's house. I'll move it. Look. All right.
Move on. Keep it rolling.
This is an already pretty...
What we have, which is awesome about our podcast, Jack, which you'll find as the duration of it goes along, is we have segments.
Wow.
Why do he has to announce the segments every time? I'm like, I feel like the segments could just happen and everyone would know they're occurring.
Because it's two white guys with a podcast. So
Three.
You need
Three
well,
now.
I'm a guest, so I don't count.
But I guess white guy.
Well, you need
It's
something.
mine.
You need like segments are a good thing. You can't just
It
have two
is.
white guys talking because that's every podcast.
Exactly. So we figured we
this.
put segments in, but not only are we're already one step above every other group of two white guys.
Right.
With the
We've
retroness.
We've gone a third step.
Okay.
Because most people would ask, common questions. What's the best thing that happened to you this week? What is your favorite movie? No.
Watch this, Jack. Not us.
No, that was great. That was a nice
It's a
little
new thing I'm
Flip
trying.
the script, guys.
Yeah, that was
It's a new
lovely.
thing I'm trying.
Our first segment that we ask every guest, but we're gonna, because again,
Okay.
you're sort of the first one. We want to know, what was the worst moment of your week?
Oh.
Everyone always wants to know about the best bit, and we want to know about the real...
For example, man, the few weeks ago.
Man.
Leave him alone. He's cool.
What, man?
You said man less like you would endearingly and more like it was like a noun. Listen here, man.
For example, man, I wet myself on a first class flight not too long ago.
Ooh.
That was one of my
For
worst
fun
moments.
or by accident?
Very much by accident.
Okay.
I rarely wet myself for fun now. Jack's
should
had
try
some
it out.
bad ones.
I've had some bad ones. I got dragged on stage by a comedy magician, and he genuinely had me on the stage for, I think, 20 minutes. He just really, he became like a double act. I was doing like a dance with him at one point.
What was the trick?
There was several. Don't worry. I think he got sick of having to grab other guests and like, this guy will do and hand me up for the rest of the show. Yeah, it kind of sucked.
But what is your worst moment of the week?
But I want to hear yours.
I don't have anything spectacular like
But sometimes they're minuscule, man.
shitting myself or like dying on stage in front of. I could die on this stage in front of millions. I had
Appreciate
horrific anxiety last week. You know, you ever get those moments where you just wake up and it's like, today's the day.
Yeah.
I'm not
actually.
going to do anything. Where you just wake up and like, I don't know what it's from. My chest is tight. I'm dying. I lay down on the couch. My heart started fluttering, and I was like, "This is it.
Ooh, that's a bad one
Had
too.
a good run. We're all done. It's over."
So that's just the day then?
Yeah, I just yelled "Happy Wheels" and then was like, I'm out. "This is it.
I'm so back.
The moment's done." That was it. The whole day was ruined.
Damn.
And I feel like people
Right.
don't talk about that ever. That they just get anxious and then
I get those mornings. I don't get it the full day. That's rough.
How do you get
I
out
had
of
it today.
You just look at yourself and are like,
with imagining I
I've got
cheated
this.
on.
I feel like eventually what it is like once I get over the hill of like doing something, then the activity sort of causes it to subside.
I see.
But like it's getting over that initial hill that's quite hard.
Performance anxiety.
I go on a walk, or I do this thing where first thing in the day, I write down for 15 minutes a stream of consciousness, and all the things in my head get out of my head.
Journaling.
He's been reading this book.
The
Oh, it's not going to be called like The Secret or The 4-Hour Work Week.
No,
or
no,
something
no.
Nonsense
The
like
4-hour work week. No, don't get him started on that.
oh, don't get me started on these green pies.
Someone suggested the 4-day work week to him.
Oh, this
and he
shit
looks
pisses me off.
devastated.
My God.
This shit makes me
He
mad.
thought about everyone in this room getting one less day of
That's-
work and he got like
that's
actually red in the
ridiculous,
face.
man.
That's what gives me the ick. Is anybody's like, I've read this great book. It's about how to change your life with 2 easy steps.
Anyway,
You would hate talking to him for the last week.
the book
Okay.
is called The Artist's Way.
Okay.
And let's just say I'm on the path.
He's an artist now.
Couldn't hate that more.
Let's just say,
Ice bath.
oh,
Salt water
journaling,
in the morning.
looking into the mirror, flaunting around.
Okay, give us like the main, give us the cliff notes.
Oh,
Yeah,
What's the
sure.
artist's path?
'Cause
What
he-
pretentious bullshit
I
have
feel
you?
like this might be your worst moment of the week is hearing about my artist.
Hey,
Because you've talked
Well-
me into buying this book, so it's
It's
in
in
my
your
bag
bag,
now.
yeah. It's in your
anybody
bag.
that reads a self-help book it's just an MLM. They're just trying to convince other people to buy the fucking book.
Oh, yeah, and you should. And he's bought it.
Yeah, to be fair, he did do it.
Okay.
So.
Well, look, Sean,
I want to know. I would change my life.
The
right
artist-
now. I'm the audience that needs
it's
this.
changed my life thanks to Julia Cameron, who was married to Scorsese but divorced him because he was
Was
too
she?
difficult. Yeah.
Wow.
Sigma.
That sells me a little bit. It sells
Okay.
me a little bit.
I'll
She's
sell
on that
you on
Sigma
it.
grind set.
Basically, it's this book and it's about it's like half really good and half really funny because she says shit that's like so. She says being a blocked creative is like being an alcoholic. An alcoholic has their last drink. A blocked creative must have their last think. That was when I
That
knew.
is one of the worst sentences I've ever heard. That is some pretentious rich person shit.
I could
Who
not
has
relate to
never
that.
been close to an alcoholic in their life.
No, no,
Well, he
no.
has.
Okay.
I have. Him.
You're an alcoholic?
No, used to be.
Okay.
But it's worth getting, man. I'm glad you got that out there.
Thank you.
Good for you.
Don't know why I laughed
Good
at my
for you,
own
man. I
laugh.
think
you
we're
pack-
talking about a lot of things today that are hard for the modern day man to talk about.
Mm-hmm.
Anxiety, alcoholism.
Alcoholism.
Blocked creative.
It's just as bad.
One of
According
the
to the
worst
All
book.
three
things.
bad, but no, we're all.
Whenever
getting
I
up there now.
hear stuff from those types of books, I'm like, we figured shit out like a long time ago. Like if you read any book, like The Meditations by Marcus Aurelius, he's like, how do I overcome my anxiety and mortality? And it's like, yeah, they kind of figured it out a long time ago, but now people have figured out a new way to like sell it to you instead of just being like, just do
That's
this.
capitalism, isn't it?
Yeah.
It sure is late stage.
Which is why you should join our Patreon.
Oh, good plug.
good plug.
Very good plug.
Wasn't it? Did you
Still
like
don't
that?
know the price. Do we know the price yet?
Fiver, tenner.
Fiver, tenner. We still haven't worked out yet.
Affordable.
Something
That's
affordable.
what the price is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Reasonable. Good value.
Good vibes.
Very good vibes on
We're
the
all
Patreon.
about vibes.
Very good vibes on the Patreon.
I'm properly a natural at this.
You'd hope after the 8 episodes we
Oh,
recorded.
that
and the
was
4 we
one of my
scrapped.
self-affirmations from that. You write down,
Self-affirmations are good. I'll
I
agree with
am
that.
brilliant. I am brilliant. I wrote down 10 times. the
I
other
always
day.
think about that, how everybody goes to a therapist and it's like, you are enough. but the person you hate also goes to a therapist and hears that as well. So both of you are just hearing you are enough. So neither of you have to change.
But they aren't. They were being lied to.
I see. Because you're enough.
I'm enough. I've proven that to myself. I don't think they have. They've not proven it to me.
I think it should be you are enough with a little asterisk at the end of it. Being like, you might need some work.
You are enough, but there is room to be more than that.
Yeah, there's growth potential.
You're fine.
You are okay.
Yeah, this is what's happening here is just happening.
Sure, you're grand.
I'm sure.
That's what the Irish should always say.
That was an Irishism. That moves on perfectly.
It's
Because
grand.
Speaking of Ireland, watch this. Look at this, Jack.
Such handbrake
I
changes.
literally we've printed out the questions on paper. This paper will be binned afterwards. It's just for this.
God damn. Can
I
I,
know,
frame
mate.
it? Bring it home?
Oh, you.
Is that the artist's way?
That's the art. No. Materialism is bad.
Okay.
Oh, this question actually is
Then
for
what do you
Jack,
have,
yeah,
a,
no,
what
Jack
do you have
to
a piece
ask.
of paper then? If
Do
This
you
it's
question's
remember-
for it says Jack at the beginning.
Yeah,
so
do you
I'm not
remember
gonna
how I
ask it.
started transitioning into the question, then you cut me off to transition into my question?
Shut up. He's talking.
All right.
No, the whole point is I am.
Oh, sorry.
Okay.
Sorry.
But he's enough.
He isn't. Hey, near enough. Near enough.
Close enough.
Take it away with question 2.
Thanks, Tom. Thank you for your blessing. But no, you did a little Irishism,
I sure did.
Sir
Fair
Sean
play to me.
McLaughlin. Sean McLaughlin, Irish name.
Pronounced horribly.
Sean McLaughlin.
McLaughlin.
Oh, that's
Sean
terrible.
McLaughlin.
That could have been
No one-
more American.
Someone wrote it down. No one wrote it in phonetic. It's all right. It's fine. We'll
Quite defensive there.
It's all right. Look,
Never mind.
the reason I bring up Ireland is selfish because I'm going to Ireland for the first time on Friday.
For a specific reason or just for fun?
Kind of just
Trick question. You don't have fun in Ireland.
Well, this is a disappointing bit of news because I actually was hoping to. I'm going to Dublin.
Okay.
Whereabouts are you from?
Offaly, right in the middle.
No.
Halfway between Galway and Dublin, Offaly, right in the middle. Not known
Okay.
for anything except me.
Nice one.
Okay,
Well
Thank
done.
you.
All right.
Self-affirmation.
We're going to take you down a peg.
I'm not only enough, I'm amazing.
Who are you going with? Why?
Me and Eleanor are going for a little couple's getaway. We're going to go to the Guinness factory.
St.
Get-
James Gate, nice.
Get a little Guinness with our face on. You can get your face on the Guinness.
The only thing that's
They put it
gonna
in the foam.
get away is your wallet when you get mugged.
All right.
No, I've got a particularly tight
Won't
grip on my
play.
wallet.
I think you should go see,
Like that.
there's a couple of good museums in Dublin. Go to Temple Bar.
We're going Temple Bar. That's booked.
Yeah.
Well, it's not booked. We're just going to
Go see the Book of Kells. Go see
What?
some bog bodies.
the book of who?
The Book of Kells.
What?
I can't remember what's in the Book of Kells, but it's very famous.
Book of Kills.
Go see the Molly Malone statue where
She's
her,
real?
yeah, the bronze on her tits have been rubbed off because everyone goes up and touches them.
Really?
So the rest of the statue is
You
all
Irish.
uniform, and then her boobs are all polished because people go up and like touch them all the time, take pictures. So
Who's Molly Malone?
Well, I thought it was just an Irish bar in the middle of Brighton. It's a really good Irish
It's named after the woman who sold cockles and mussels.
What's a cottle?
What? No, before we get into what cockles are, because they're little shellfish. But anyway,
Yeah.
Oh,
why is
I know now.
and how did she get to become the most famous Irish person ever for doing that?
I actually don't know. I'm like the worst Irishman ever when it comes to history because I don't know anything. And I just heard these things growing up and I was like, cool. Good for her. She's a statue now.
This feels really dire if you're like statue person. Her big reason for getting a statue was she sold cockles and shells.
I'm
Where's
sure
your
she-
statue?
I don't
You've done
know.
way more than
I
that.
do feel like you've done more than sell cockles
Where,
and
in
shells.
Offaly?
I've
Where
done
is it
so
from?
much for the Irish community.
Yeah.
I've brought us to a broader stage. No one in Ireland has ever done that before.
No? You might be the first Irish person ever to make it out.
I know. Isn't that cool?
That's really good.
I'm like the most famous Irish person.
Yeah, I think.
I
can't-
was number 8 on a list of Irish people who are
No,
most
I swear
influential.
there's loads of actors who are Irish.
I currently can't think of any.
Name one.
The fella from Succession, who's old.
Chris O'Dowd.
Brian Cox?
Brian Cox.
He's Scottish.
Oh, same difference.
Oh, don't you?
Oh, yeah, don't do that.
I was just in Edinburgh. Lovely. Much, much, much nicer than Ireland.
Have you ever been to
Go
Ireland?
to Ireland.
Belfast.
That's Northern Ireland.
It got the word Ireland in the name.
I mean, technically true. It's on the landmass.
I win.
Yeah, but you're going to get the
There's a
podcast taken
whole-
down.
Just let the audience like take him apart on that.
Yeah, you don't know about the troubles.
They had the
God
Titanic
Christ.
though. Did you go to the Titanic Museum?
I did. It was terrible.
Yeah.
Well, I found 2 of my great-great-great-grandparents died on the Titanic. They were in the coal mines, in the coal bit, to leave their
There's
wives
no mines on a boat.
and go to New York.
He means the engines.
I see.
The engine rooms. And they died first.
Wow.
And we saw their names in the Titanic Museum.
That's pretty cool, honestly.
And then we went on the Titanic Museum ride, which you think...
Does it let
what?
you sink in real time?
No, what the fuck is
like
that?
2.5
That's
hours of
real?
you just sitting on a boat
It's
being dropped into water.
it's an impossibly slow roller coaster that goes like this, and then back, just a small oval, and then goes back.
Is there anything to see on
Yeah,
it?
what's the point?
I don't think there was there might have been animatronics, but it was really
Animatronics?
It was like
You tell me Freddie Fazbear's there looking on the
Minds at
Titanic.
Belfast.
it was properly crummy. It was the worst museum I've been to in my life, and they laid it out poor. I hated the Titanic.
Titanic
Museum.
jump scare.
How do you feel about
Iceberg
it?
just
you
comes
know
out
what?
of
As well,
nowhere.
I was having a bad week that week when I was in Belfast, a real bad week, and me and Molly were like, you know what? The Titanic Museum will cheer me up. And I was just bumping into people, seeing my dead relatives.
I'm about to say, how do you feel that your dead relatives were in the shittest museum you've ever been to?
It fits the Simon's family name.
Yeah, Titanic was built in Belfast. Was sailed over to Liverpool.
I feel
and
like I
then-
do know that now, but
Yeah.
I forgot.
Jacksepticeye.
Well, that's
This is also my question.
But I think I'm going to.
Do you guys have it written down like Jack asks this?
Yeah,
Tommy
but
asks
I'm
this?
going to ask this one.
Okay, and segue.
At what age did you start the online stuff, and how was it back then? For example, was monetization a thing yet?
Oh my
was
God,
it
you're
even
reading all
something
of
you
it.
could do as a career? How did people react when you started?
Wow.
So that was going to be asked sort of more segmentally and better, but he's sort of
I
just
see.
throwing the lot at you.
No, everyone, it's so weird. When I started, everyone was like, you're not a first generation YouTuber. Fuck you. Everybody else came before you.
Oh, really?
And now I've been doing it so long, everyone's like, he's an OG. And I'm like, I'll take the credit wherever I can.
Who was
get it.
before
When
you?
did you get involved?
It's like Smosh and like Dan and Phil and Tobuscus and all those people.
Tobuscus.
Yeah, we don't do that anymore.
Oh,
Yeah,
sorry.
no, he also ended up being a right-wing icon.
Oh,
Yeah.
God
Back to
damn
Hawk
it.
to him.
Tobuscus.
No, monetization was a thing. That's how I learned YouTube was a thing. I was watching a YouTuber called Level Cap Gaming do Battlefield content, and he was like, "It's my full-time job now." And I was like, "The fuck you can do? You can play video games as a job?
Shit.
That's cool."
So like your thing was like, oh, I want this to be a job.
And how
Well,
old
not
were
really.
you?
I was just like, it's cool that you can make it a job, so I'll try. But it wasn't going anywhere for a very long time.
Oh, okay.
So how long did you do it for before, I guess, what? I'm sure you get asked this all the time. What took it off? And how old were you as well?
I started when I was 22. At like the very, very end of it, did the Metal Gear Solid Snake impression. It was really
Oh,
good.
yeah.
Can
you
But
give
that was
us a
November,
little-
so technically it was like 2013 almost that I started, and then
Oh wow, that's later than I thought it was.
2013.
yeah,
Uh-huh.
I thought
and then
you were a bit
I
earlier
did
than
it for
that.
like 2 years, and I had like 2.5K subs, and I was like, I did the thing where I went to people's comment sections and was like,
Oh, yeah.
top of the morning, come check out my channel if you want.
the little top of the morning. That's
Yeah, and then I went back
That's
and
nice.
deleted as many as I could find because I was like, I fucking hate myself. Please end me. And then I was doing it and I was like, well, it's not working out. Maybe I'll stop. And then the PewDiePie shout out thing happened.
So what happened there?
He had a forum. He had like a website where you could go on a forum and he had a competition where I think he got like 50,000 people entered it and he would pick out like 10.
He
I would-
himself would go through.
I don't know. I'm sure somebody on his team or something like whittled them down and then he picked like the top 10 that he agreed with. But he did that video and then I was like, I'll enter. There's nothing I can lose. Why not? And then he shouted me out among a bunch of other people. A lot of them don't really do content anymore, but there's a couple that you'll like recognize, I think.
And
Remember,
it's-
did you ever see that bass guy?
Yes,
It's
yeah,
Tom
yeah,
Duty
yeah.
does bass. He was in that shout out
Oh,
competition as well.
So he just literally. you
Please that bass guy. I was like, Mr. Bass.
So he would just make a whole video on his channel. Like, I'm just shouting out some small YouTubers.
yeah, he didn't do
That's
it
so
that
sick.
often, but I think he just wanted to give back. And then he did that, and I went from
That's
like
kind.
2.5K to like 15K in a couple of days.
Fucking
Wow.
And then it slowed down after that, but it like gave me the motivation to like keep making shit. And I was like, okay, if he thinks it's good, then
What-
surely I must be doing something right.
What is 15K in like new money? Because like I feel like sub counts are so inflated. Like 15K feels like less of a deal now than it probably was then.
Yeah, that's probably like going from like 0 to like 100K back.
Yeah,
then.
exactly.
It was a
right.
big deal.
And then
Yeah.
after that, was it the the was it Happy Wheels that like sort of sent you?
Kind of. I was doing GTA 5 videos when he shouted me out. So that was like the thing that was highlighted in it.
Oh, of course,
Yeah.
2013.
When did you start watching, Sean? Was it around?
I did.
Was it-
Because I was like a real, like, I remember
OG?
the 2 uploads a day. So, no, not like OG, but I remember 2 uploads a day and watching like both of them when I was in like year 8. So
What was the
Christ.
content?
I think Happy Wheels was how I found you, I'll be honest. Because I think I'd seen Tobuscus play it.
Everyone saw.
I was a big Tobuscus guy.
Yeah.
And then yours popped up and recommended. And I'd maybe seen the PewDiePie video, but not followed it through and being
Yeah,
like,
because
oh,
I
remember this
did a
guy.
video saying like thanks for the shout out kind of thing, like a vlog. So you probably saw that.
I remember seeing that and being like seeing. I just remember you being the flat cap guy at the time.
Yeah.
You were the flat cap guy, and I was like, "Oh."
That's my legacy.
What happened, man?
I don't know.
And then you went green hair guy for a little bit.
I know.
Green hair
Everyone's still
guy was
like
cool.
green hair was peak, and I'm like, that's 2 years out of like a 12-year career.
Actually,
it was
wasn't
so
long.
big that everyone was like, that's peak. That's like the
Christ.
best
Yeah,
thing
yeah.
ever.
But yeah, I think it was Happy Wheels, which was like what 2015.
I honestly can't remember.
For me, it was
2015, I feel like.
one of your Subnauticas I watched a lot of, and
that was like 2015, I think.
yeah, because that was before I like properly got into YouTube, and then Life is Strange because I didn't watch Happy Wheels. Those were
Did
the
you
ones.
not?
No, I never watched anyone play it.
Fucking
Or GTA.
loved-
Didn't watch
I
any
think
of
that was the thing with the channel. People were either all in on that weird, goofy kind of upload or the Life is Strange.
or
Like,
based like me.
whatever.
I was going to ask you this. Do you sometimes, because I still do to this day, get like the itch to play Happy Wheels?
Yeah, all
Like,
the time.
like free time though, like not recording it, just occasionally I'm like, I want
Kind
to play
of,
Happy
yeah.
Wheels for like half an hour.
Wow.
And even recording it, I'm like, it was so good. It's so easy to do and it's so fun.
It is just enjoyable.
Yeah.
You have ADHD, right?
Oh yeah.
I feel like it's made.
Yeah.
It's like custom made for.
To the
Sorry,
point where it's
that
like I
mindset.
can't even get through most levels because if it takes me more than 2 minutes, I'm like, fuck this.
For my mum, who listens to all of these, Happy Wheels is like this like web game from the early 2010s that was really easy to like.
And it's very
again.
violent. Well,
Really? I think
By,
that's what put
by
me
those
off.
standards,
I thought it was a bit much when I was a kid.
yeah, I mean, the
fact.
fact that you can like the kids in it, you can like kick their
Yeah,
heads
it's
off.
kind of fucked. Actually.
Yeah, when you think about it, it's like a dad on a bike with his kid and he can kill the kid before he does anything else.
Yeah. And was there, this is one Jack also wrote, was there anything like any specific creators that sort of inspired you to start doing YouTube?
I mean, Felix was definitely one.
Yeah,
I think because
absolutely.
he was like the pioneer Let's Player at the time, but also like Uber Haxer Nova. I don't know if you know him.
Nah,
With them.
He's like he was the Happy Wheels guy. Like Tobuscus
Okay.
was doing it, and then Uber Haxer Nova, whose name is James, he would do that. And he was so popular at it that he is the voice of the Pogo guy in Happy Wheels. He's the only one that got a voice in it.
I thought you got a voice, didn't you?
No.
Oh, wow.
Oh,
So he's the voice of the Pogo guy in that game, and he was so
Oh.
big. And I remember watching his Happy Wheels, and I was like, man, that's really cool.
there was a movie or a show briefly, wasn't there? Didn't they make a show or like a YouTube series or some shit?
Probably, yeah.
Probably.
I swore you got a voice in it.
No.
Wow. I
I would love to be a voice in Happy Wheels. That would be such a cool legacy. to
it
have.
wasn't the game. Like I swear they made like a spin-off series and a few people. got
a lot of
voice-
people probably made like animations and stuff on it. Yeah.
Maybe I'm like making stuff up.
Mate, cool. First of all, you've already got the coolest legacy to have. And two, what like recording back then? Would you like? Was it on like Fraps and stuff? Did you have to pay?
Oh,
for the
yeah.
recording? I remember those.
It was Fraps, and then everyone found out Fraps like takes like 25 frames off your game. It
Oh,
was just
really? Oh,
horrible.
wow.
Fucking hell.
It was like such a performance hog on your system. So then it moved to like DX Tory was one.
I was
then-
on XSplit. That was my one before the great OBS came.
Yeah,
and
I was
exiled
on
everyone.
XSplit and I tried it a couple of times, and then my details got hacked in an XSplit like, breach.
Oh,
And my
fuck.
PlayStation account got hacked in like 2015. Me and Felix at the same time.
Which is the biggest loss.
Oh my god,
That sounds like the worst
and
that could
that's
happen.
nearly where it ended there.
Well, it was like they hacked my PlayStation and my Twitch and
Never mind,
my
that's pretty
email
bad.
at the time.
Twitch is pretty bad.
And then
and
they went
email.
live on my Twitch account and they were like, I think they like said a couple of slurs or something, but they had no cam or anything, but
Oh,
their voices
Christ.
were on it.
Oh,
And I was
that
like,
is pretty
God,
fucked.
It was
your
like
ass.
Jacksepticeye. He's done it.
Yeah, they were like, got him. That sounds like him.
They were like, I'm just gonna go live with my own voice, say slurs, and people will think it's a distinct Irish man.
Yep.
Top of the morning, everybody. I'm gonna say some shit.
Turn off the camera today.
But that was the first like panic attack moment to be like, I've lost it all. What's going to happen?
Yeah,
they're
fucking
into
right.
everything.
Yeah, as much as we joke about it now, that actually sounds fucking terrifying.
Yeah, but
Have you ever had anything hacked? Like,
No,
Cancer
I
Crush
remember
moments.
when I had 1 million subs, I was in a call with Schlapp and he watched me type in my password and he went, "That's your password." And I went, "Yeah, for everything." And then he went, "You are installing Dashlane right now or we are not for it." And he like saw it and he just started, I think we were in a call with a load of people and he started shouting my password. So I'd change it right then because he was so cross with me that it was like so obvious.
Honestly,
thing,
kind of good move.
It
from
was,
him.
like, I've been secure since, but it was like,
that's the thing. A bunch of YouTubers got hacked that was years ago, like 2016, 2017-ish. Like it was just a string of people getting hacked back
I
to back.
remember actually.
And people still do. And it's like, because they don't have like two-step or anything on.
yeah, I've got that Google Authenticator.
Yeah. And now these days people get their Twitter hacked and they're like, yeah, whatever, good riddance.
Yeah, it's just
Don't
fucking-
care.
Who gives a shit, man?
One
But
time
yeah.
I pretended mine was hacked because I made it. This is actually true. Back in the
That
era.
is low, man.
No, where Twitter was like a bigger deal and everyone was banging like hundreds of thousands of likes a
Yeah.
tweet and it was just crazy. I made a tweet that I thought was really funny that just didn't land. So then I doubled. No. Get this.
What was
Get this. I doubled down. The tweet was something along the lines of like,
I hate X.
no, it was like, it was something absurd. I was like sat on the toilet at like 2 a.m. and I just tweeted like, "Your talk mad shit for people that aren't immune to the fungus." Or something, like something crazy. And I doubled down and it was like, "When the spawns descend, what will you do?" And I just started going. And then I went on my quote tweeted one of them and was like, "Yeah, my main's been hacked. I don't know what the fuck's going on." And it was just a lie because they were just not landing.
I sent that to you going like, what is this?
I was like, "Yeah, I've been hacked, man."
To be fair, I
it was
have
so
had moments like that where I'm like, how many people have like tweeted some like really awful shit just to see what would happen to like try and get attention on their main, and they'd be like, "I was hacked." Because who can prove you were hacked or not?
I think Soldier Boy did it once. I distinctly remember something along those
Fuck yeah.
lines.
God, but no, YouTube was very different back then. There was monetization, but like brand deals and everything were such a
Was it like what were they called? MCM days.
MCN, yeah.
Who were you signed with?
What is that? What is it? Everyone always talks about it when I
A
listen
multi-channel
to podcasts,
network.
and I
So
don't even know
you
what
couldn't
it
get
is.
monetized through YouTube. You had to go through an MCN to get monetization.
Like Machinima and
A Machinima would take like 50-40% of your revenue. back in
Machinima
the
were
day.
fucking awful, I hear.
Yeah.
Bloody
And then it slowly like whittled down. And I was with, my first one was Zoom In TV.
Oh wow.
Oh wow!
Who were fucking awful. They tried to like extort me and tried to like keep me and
Yeah,
take all
Zoom
my
In
money.
TV really gave me that
Even I
vibe.
would have known not to sign with Zoom In.
They were the first ones that like gave me my first paycheck, which was like €50 back then.
Yeah.
Hey, was you on Skype?
Yeah.
That's sick.
That's
Was
so
that
weird
all? You-
to think about that people aren't on Skype.
Do you know what's mad? Me and my dad were chatting about this. In what world did Skype fuck it up? Like Zoom was nothing.
Yeah.
And it came in and became, everyone was on Skype. Skype was like referenced in TV. How did Skype
Everyone
not
knows like the
become
Skype ringtone.
the
and everything
biggest
as
thing
well.
in the world?
Yeah, I
in
must admit,
COVID?
I don't know how Skype felt. Like, what did they do wrong?
How did
that
they
made them fall
fumble the
off?
bag?
I think Discord might have been a...
Discord definitely.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
remember moving from Skype to Discord.
That was
I-
so sick, man, when the group chat changed. to
I think because
Discord.
their quality was shit. Even back then,
Oh,
everyone,
yeah,
if you had
to
like more than 4 people, everyone would move to TeamSpeak.
Yeah,
Yeah.
TeamSpeak
To
was-
try and
was a
get,
thing.
And they
like,
do
clear
like
audio.
bad updates too, Skype. Like they do some shit.
Yeah.
It was Microsoft, right? Who owns
Mhm.
Skype as well?
Yeah, they're stupid.
They've got
But they
Teams
also
now,
own
though.
Zoom, so.
Oh, do they own Zoom? Do they buy Zoom? Fucking hell. I didn't know that.
Oh, so Microsoft always, house always wins.
Yeah, exactly.
They are the biggest
Monopolies
company in the
always
world.
win. Yeah. But if you did a brand deal, you were a pariah and everyone fucking hated you. And how dare you ever do something like that? And now they're so commonplace.
Really?
Yeah.
It's really weird. But then I went from like Zoom In to, I can't remember. I think I just went straight to Polaris with Disney. They were bought by Disney.
Oh, Disney was I thought they were Maker Studios as well.
yeah,
Did they have
Polaris
separate
was Maker.
ones? Oh,
And then they bought all of them out. And then we were with them. And then it was straight to Disney, digital, and then a bunch of other
And
ones. And now you can just go straight through YouTube.
What was it like back then? Like, did you have a proper moment? At least I did coming out of COVID, where it was like, oh, okay, people in the street now know who I am, and this is
Yeah.
different. Or do you remember having a moment of like, oh fuck, this my life's
Were you
different
still
now?
in Ireland at that point?
Yeah, I had like 50K the first time I got recognized in public. I was in Tesco with a tin of beans and like super noodles in my thing. And kids came up and were like, I love your content. And I have a picture with them on my Instagram, I think, like way back. At the
Oh,
beginning.
cool.
Fucking hell.
And that was like a big moment to be like, oh God. It like scared me more than it excited me.
A million when that first happened to me.
Wow.
I was walking home and then these two people opposite me start staring at me. Because I'm from Nottingham, when someone starts staring at you, you try and like look harder. So I like went like this, like.
You stood taller.
Yeah, so taller, I like putting my headphones like that. And then they were like, hi, are you TommyInnit? And I was like, because it was really near my house. I was like, what the fuck is happening, man?
Yeah.
And I was like, yeah. And they were like, can we get a photo? And I was like, I think, yeah. Or I think I said, okay, and then walked off. I was really freaked out.
Yeah, it's kind of scary the first time it happens because you're like,
They were really little kids
surely
as
you're
well.
joking. Like you're going to do something.
Yeah.
There's no way you know who I am.
Especially when it's right near your house.
It was so odd.
I'm moving soon, so I think by the time this comes out, I'll be moved. So I feel comfortable saying this. I live in the dead fucking center of Brighton, like right in the very middle.
Yeah.
And I get spotted outside my house all the time. I just have to play it off like I don't live there.
I'm not a friend.
I was like, no. It's like not. It's like I would be right near it. And I once had someone. I lived down an alleyway, and someone once donated to my stream and put, "I saw you go down an alleyway on Halloween. What was that?" I was like, "Oh my god!" I had to like just ignore it. I was like, "Yeah."
If anyone at home is listening or watching or anything, be fucking cool about people's addresses. It's so cringe when they're like, I know a thing you don't know. But it's also kind of illegal.
Have you been doxxed?
I had people show up at my house in Ireland all the time, yeah.
Oh, what was that like, man? Because I had it like a bit bad, but what was it?
I was in like a gated like apartment complex too. But people
that
at
makes
the,
sense.
People in the like you needed a code to get in, but then the people were like, oh yeah, he lives down here. Like he always says he wants to meet fans. And I'm like, yeah, in the street.
Yeah, this is so. I'm not gonna victim blame here, but I am a little bit because I remember one thing you used to famously say is like, if I could meet all of you, I would.
Yeah.
And 10-year-old me took that to heart.
Yep.
Sean. Because I sent you an email.
That's the early days of parasocial behavior where there was no rules for anything. No one had boundaries. No one knew anything.
No.
If I could meet all of you, I would. But
I fucking wouldn't.
You'd have to pay me a tenner. But...
far away from me. No, you can say hi in the
street.
street.
But yeah, I had like a...
aggressive.
That's why I don't get recognised as much.
Yeah,
that's why I don't get stopped.
That's why they didn't go down the alleyway. They just watched.
They just watched me go down into this dark alleyway.
So you had people like... Sorry, I have to ask a bit as well because my mum will be so interested in this. Like you actually had people coming knocking at your door.
Yeah,
and would you answer? And
the worst one, I think it was like I think there were a Polish family showed up. It was like a mother and two kids, and they showed up at like 8 a.m. I thought it was a delivery. I put on a shirt because I was like, I'll just get the delivery. I was just standing there in a shirt and my boxers, and these kids were there, and they were like, we brought you like a thing, and it was like a massive wooden thing with just a YouTube logo in the middle of it.
Fucking hell.
And they had like signed the back of it, and I was like, okay, and I was like, give me a minute, and I closed the door, and I put on pants, and I opened the door, and I was like, hey, how's it going?
Oh my,
fucking hell, eh?
Because I didn't have it. What did I had maybe some people knocked on the door once or twice, but when this all happened, my mum went, right, we're installing a gate. And she got a huge gate installed outside the house. And then the council was like, you can't just put up a gate. And my mum was like, suck my balls, we're putting up a gate.
See, that makes sense. That's a smart thing to do, I think.
But I was also like, I was 16. My parents kept a lot of it from me. What was that like being an adult and just having to reckon with?
Yeah,
because you don't. It happens. I mean, we know it happens so quick. Like, what was that?
I think it was that thing where I was like, yes, this is kind of my fault. I think I kind of brought this on myself.
Oh, well, now I feel guilty for having said that.
Oh, Jack.
I think it's a good. It was like a turning point. It was like a lesson learned to be like, okay, I need to move, and that was when I started thinking about where I was going to move.
Sure. Is that when you moved here?
Yeah, I was thinking about LA or London.
That was a question we had. What brought everyone to Brighton?
At that time, because we know what brought us here. But
for me, it was just because everybody else was here. Like, I don't know what brought everyone to Brighton. Yeah. But I was like, oh, there's a bunch of other YouTubers that was here. I came over to visit Felix once, and I was already thinking about moving. And I was like, it's a pretty cool place. It's close enough to London.
Yeah.
If I want to fly anywhere, Gatwick's really close.
This is literally the exact same reason I moved. I came to visit someone who was living here.
Yeah.
It was the same thing. I was just like, this is great. I'm looking to move.
Because I was like, LA, maybe, but we all kind of like know what LA's like. And I was like, London's way too busy, but Brighton's close enough that I can like go up and down if I want to.
We can cut this. Did Felix like have one of the whole blocks in Brunswick in that really posh bit? Or, I think I heard that from someone.
I remember hearing that.
There was a lot of rumors about where he lived and what he owned and everything because he was like Mr. YouTube back then. So everyone's like, he must own half of Brighton.
Was it just like a normal ass?
Yeah.
Okay.
He just lived very frugally, I think.
Aww.
He was never that type of person to live in like a mansion, like big house kind of thing.
Yeah.
I rate that.
Not like you with your cinema room.
Yeah.
such a
I've heard about this.
Oh,
I've heard it's
such
quite.
a-
It's one of
quite
those
the
things
abode.
where I've talked to people about it a little bit online because I was like, I want to show it off because it's like
It is
it's
so-
been my
it's
dream
amazing.
since I was a kid to
It's
be
cool.
like, I love movies, I love sound, I want
Do
to
you
like
use it a
talk
lot
about
still?
it. Yeah.
We did a crime in there, Jack, and we watched on. Sorry,
The fuck do you
it's a
mean?
weird
It's a
intro.
weird way to start.
We,
Smoking meth in my basement.
we watched on this fucking crazy cinema room. We watched Mr. Beast videos. It
We
was
did.
like you can have
You watched
of all
Inside,
people.
Inside by Bo Burnham, and then Tommy was like,
yeah.
for the meme, he was like, what if
Can
we
we?
put on
Molly
one of
was sat in
those?
there as well, and she was just like, "This is miserable."
Yeah, I admittedly did actually. You know what? I've just remembered where Eleanor lives. We might have to cut this, but I'll see.
Yeah.
Where Eleanor lives, there's a cinema room in the building, and I rented it out to watch Dune. But then I had some bonus time, so I stuck on me, you, and Harry's military vlog and watched that afterwards.
It is the thing where you see your YouTube videos on like a phone or a laptop or a gaming monitor.
Yeah.
It's like, what does it look like on a...
You're like, "Wow, my subtitles are way too big."
Yeah,
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
yeah,
that
they
was
are
the
meant
main.
for a
That was the big
phone.
takeaway, to be honest.
But I have talked about it recently where I was like, it's something that I love a lot, but I was like, I don't want to show it off and be like that guy to
It
be
could.
like, look, here's my wealth. I'm going to show it at
You,
you.
Yeah.
mate, you come down into it. I'm gonna just brag for you.
Okay.
You come down into it, and then there's like little bowls of popcorn and stuff, and it's all like
Well, they're preset.
red. Oh yeah,
Oh, yeah.
oh yeah.
Well, when people come over for like the first time, we're like, okay, what's your favorite movie? What do you want to watch?
Oh,
To get like the
cool.
proper experience. Because the
Okay.
cinemas here suck, especially in Brighton. They're like,
No, you dickhead.
Dukes.
First of all, the Odeon is legendary. If you with
it
Odeon
looks like
Premium,
a prison.
Yeah, no, he's no.
It's
I'll
terrible.
let him off. It's attached to Prism for a start. That's
true.
that's a mess. The Duke's cinemas, however,
yeah, Duke of York's and Comedia are the two like nicest.
They are
cinemas.
solid. They
Have
are
you ever
very
been to
nice.
Duke of York's?
Yeah.
It's the nicest
But
place
I'm
ever.
like, I'm someone who like likes really good audio, and all the audio, in all the
Okay,
cinemas here
Mr.
suck.
If I could build my own cinema room, I'd also not go.
Yeah.
Mm,
It's better.
you've made a good point.
You sit in your own thing. It's dark.
No, but don't
You're
you
in
miss,
your own
like,
house.
being around all the people though? I quite like that.
No, because people don't know how to be in a cinema anymore after COVID.
Yeah, they do.
They sit and they're on their phones and they're making so much noise and they're talking.
no. Inside Out 2, they were a bit much, but bar that, they're nice.
You see the clips of like people at like Deadpool, Wolverine, and they're like fucking losing their minds.
Oh
and I'm like,
my God.
I get it, but at the same time, I also kind of want to watch the
When we
movie.
went to see the FNAF movie, man, and Matt Pack came on Scream, the
Yep.
roar that erupted through that
To be
theater
fair,
was
it is
amazing.
it is fun. Like if you're watching a fun
It's
movie,
fun.
it does add an
Yeah,
atmosphere. to it.
Deadpool and Wolverine was great, but like I remember it was so. I watched it. So I went to an event where they did like a preview screening of like the first 35 minutes, and it was in the London Apollo, which was a weird place to watch a film. But yeah,
Oh, where? Like,
yeah, the London Apollo we played at. Like
fucking hell.
so
Hammersmith?
yeah,
Apollo?
Hammersmith Apollo. Yeah.
Just one of my frequent.
That is a pretty cool fucking venue to do. I did it with
that
Game
one?
Grumps.
I was about to say,
I didn't
did
do
you
it for my
amazing,
own
innit?
thing. I did the Troxy, which was
Troxy's fucking great.
It's a good venue, but I was like, it doesn't have like Apollo.
No, but like the lighting and all. Don't get me started on Troxy.
The
I love that
HDMI
place.
cable broke, so I had the worst show on my tour in the Troxy. So
Would you ever do touring or stand up again? Do you
yeah, absolutely. I would
Yeah?
love to.
Cool.
I just have to write a good show, and I'm like, I keep coming up with jokes. I'm like, I don't think that's good enough for people to pay tickets to come see me.
But do you like do open mics and stuff and test them out?
No,
Yeah.
I don't like open mics.
Why?
I don't know. I just,
Nerves.
yeah, I don't think I perform very well at open mics.
They're a bit much.
I think it's definitely your energy, like seeing your clips
I'm
of
a
doing
bit,
it.
like, yeah, a bit
I feel
mad.
like you thrive in that. I don't think I do.
I
That
did
makes
one,
sense.
and it was definitely
You didn't love it, did
it was
you?
it was daunting.
But yours was in Ohio.
It was a
front of a swastika.
bold set to do in Ohio to then notice there was a swastika on the wall. Yes.
Ooh,
Yeah.
But don't worry.
did you make jokes about it?
No, because I didn't notice till
it had a
afterwards.
gay pride flag behind it.
It was
That
a
is
weird.
It was
the
a really-
juxtaposition of
it was
humanity.
It was.
It was weird.
I still to this day don't know what message, and it was on a skateboard. It was a swastika on a pride flag on a skateboard on a wall above a stand-up stage.
Maybe now they're like, it's not a swastika, it's the Buddhist symbol. We'll change it.
Yeah,
Just
sure.
paint the red out of it.
There was no red. It was weird. It was really weird. But
It was a swastika.
it was a
on a
swastika.
wall.
Because the Buddhist logo or symbol is literally a swastika.
It's slightly different.
A little
it-
bit. But at first glance, it looks like a swastika.
At a glance, yeah.
Anyway, I feel like we've talked like 15 different topics in the space of like 5 minutes, and I don't think we've stuck to any of them.
No, the reason I brought up the Apollo quickly was because I was about to
Right.
say,
I was about to ask a planned question.
well, hang on, let me finish
All
this
right.
point that
Say,
I
your,
started.
say the catchphrase.
Oh yeah, shut up! I'm talking.
There you
Thank
go.
you.
Bug, merchant bio.
Yeah, there we are. Not yet.
Not yet.
Okay.
It's not jump the
But
gun.
we
This is
did
the
just
first
buy the
guest,
domain,
right?
shutupimtalking.shop. We've bought the domain.
Oh, did we?
£9 for a year.
Do you have a newsletter subscription yet that people can sign up for?
Fucking use what?
I don't mean to
You
shut
don't
you
have
up
a
again, but
newsletter.
I feel like I should
Sorry.
finish this point so we can finally
Say
move
it.
on.
Hit me.
Shut up, I'm talking.
Sure.
Anyway, right. No, the reason I mentioned the Apollo is because we're on about loud cinemas.
Mm.
And obviously the Apollo isn't a cinema. It is like a concert venue.
Yeah.
So imagine 3,000 people, because that's what the capacity is, in now what is made to be a cinema.
That's how many we sold out.
Yeah, I know. I was part of the show.
That's actually why.
Yeah, but that's why we sold them.
He's on the poster.
But yes, like 3,000 people watching this movie, and obviously Deadpool Wolverine's like a lot of jokes. Every fucking joke, you just lose the punchline because the whole room would go, and it was just like 3,000 people laughing at this fucking movie. I'm like, I
It's
didn't
also
hear
very
a word.
dense and very quick, so it's like 5 jokes like back to back. So you
Yeah.
laugh at the first one and you miss the rest of it.
Yeah, it was like really rough.
Did
watching
everyone
that
cheer
film.
when Captain America showed up?
That wasn't.
That wasn't in the first 35 minutes. It was only the Apollo was a 35-minute.
Oh, you
preview.
went to that thing. I
Yeah.
was invited to that, and
Yeah.
they were like, "Oh, we're only showing like the first 35 minutes," and I was like, "Well, we already had trouble getting a cat sitter. Like, I'm not.
Yeah,
We're not going to go out of our way to like because I did that for Spider-Man: No Way Home for the press junket for it,
Right.
and they only showed the first 30 minutes, and I was like, I don't know what this movie is. Like, you don't get a feel for it.
No,
till then.
Deadpool Wolverine. You realize when you only watch the first 30 minutes is just set up for the first 30
It's
minutes.
like him talking to the TVA right before the void, isn't it?
Yeah, nothing really happens.
Can I ask you a question that is just
That you've been doing nothing but
well,
No, go on, Tom. Ask your question.
ask away.
this isn't even a good question.
Okay. the
It's
others
not even
have?
one of my. This is not my pre-planned good question. This is my off,
Off
the
the
top of my head.
dome, steel trap.
Do you know yesterday or the other day I was watching a video essay?
Your question started with, "Do you know yesterday?"
Do you know what I was doing in the
shut up, I'm
privacy of
talking.
my own
Shut up, I'm
home?
talking, man. Did you know yesterday? Yeah, I was watching this video essay called "Jack Black Doesn't Fit In," and I watched it all. It was very good. And then I remember when he was in Brighton. And then did he hang out with you when he was in Brighton?
He didn't hang out with me, but we went to the show and talked to him afterwards. Yeah.
Oh.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
You've done a few things with him, haven't you?
Yeah,
again.
he was on Thankmas like 2 years ago, playing
Yeah.
Jenga.
I saw that.
I did a couple of press junkets for like Jumanji and stuff.
Wow.
I did. That was cool.
Very cool.
I think because his son was like really big into like a
YouTube.
bunch of gaming YouTubers at a point.
Yeah, he was.
You probably
I've
just
heard
watch
about
any
it.
of us anymore, but
His son needs to have a Dream SMP face. Come on.
that's usually what happens. I remember being at the premiere for Rise of Skywalker and a guy from West Coast Customs for like Pimp My Ride came up and his son was a big fan. He gave me like his card, which was like a really cool
That's
thing. And I was
awesome.
like, that's so cool.
Want to get your ride pimped?
Yeah, I don't even have
There's
one.
a great, the new Captain America who plays Falcon, Anthony Mackie.
Yeah.
There's a clip of him in an interview being like, someone was like, "Do your kids love you because you're an Avenger?" He's like, "Nah, man, they don't love me. They love this like British blonde man that I can't remember his name." And I was like,
Oh.
chances are he's on about me.
Tom really likes to think there was
You're the
never
only-
any confirmation it was Tom, but Tom has decided
It was a British
abs-
blonde Minecraft streamer.
Was it blonde? I
What-
think
what
blonde
year?
was
Yeah,
added.
blonde? No, British.
It was. I
dude.
was just British Minecraft streamer,
Yeah, who? Okay,
which
who
was
else
during
is
the
it?
Dream SMP. That was quite broad.
Yeah,
To be
but
fair,
come
if
on.
he's into one of you, he's into all of you.
That's the thing. I figure he
no,
probably, probably
actually,
knows all.
times have changed.
Okay.
Yeah. To be fair, back then,
But-
though.
How did you guys fumble the bag?
Okay, well,
Remember when COVID, everyone was popping off Minecraft youth, and then it all vanished afterwards?
I moved on. I
we
became
actually-
sophisticated, Sean.
Well, like
just
what?
in-
What do you do now?
Oh, some call me a commentary guy. Do you know that?
Ooh,
Yeah.
that's not cringe.
just to not
Damn, really? Oh, damn. All right.
be in prison is a victory for us.
Yeah, to be
Anyway,
honest.
how this is one of my pre-planned questions.
Sure.
Speaking of the military, I guess we weren't speaking of the military.
The military complex?
How would you avoid the draft? Because I was reading this book, yeah. And shut up, I'm talking. I can see you're going to cut in. I was reading this book, yeah.
Let him cook.
It's Bruce Springsteen's book, Born to Run. Great book, loving it so far. And in order to avoid getting shipped out to Vietnam, one of Bruce's friends froze his toe and then chopped it off.
Bruce's show?
No, he didn't. No,
Oh.
one of Bruce's mates froze their toe and chopped it off to avoid being in the draft. One of them slept in milk for 3 days in a row, and then when they went, they were so smelly that they turned them away. How would you avoid
Get
the
turned away from the military for being smelly.
Yeah, that's crazy. That's not real.
No, and they acted erratic while being very smelly. It's true.
He came up and
and-
said, I like milk. And they were like,
Famously, Bruce never lies. Shut up, I'm talking. How would you avoid the draft, guys? I'll tell you what I'd do. Thank you for asking me. I've thought about this really hard.
Clearly.
I would say I'm brilliant at marketing, and I'd show them all those dominate and destroy documents I've got, and I'd go, let me do marketing for you guys.
That's not avoiding the draft. That's still joining the military.
They're still being part
Yeah,
of
but
the
you're going to
problem
have to
of the
do
war.
something if we're in a war.
Yeah, but you do realize once you're in the military, even if you have like an office job, if it comes down to the nitty gritty of it, they send you out as well.
They're not sending me out.
No, that's what the draft is. They probably will.
I would use my immense privilege to get out of it.
I like the sounds of this.
That's not a very
Elaborate.
fun answer.
I mean, what's the point of accruing wealth, fame, audience if you can't
God,
peer pressure?
humility.
If you can't peer pressure what you want out of life.
Well, I heard a rumor that apparently if you're above a certain like level of like fame,
You think they're going to draft the billionaires?
they won't draft you.
They're not drafting Tommy Innit.
We're billionaire adjacent.
Yeah.
Well, kind of.
Aspiring. I'm an aspiring
Self-proclaimed.
billionaire. I'm worth it to society. If you take me away, my uploads go away, and people need that.
People during a time of crisis need what
They're
we
going to be
make.
sat in the trenches, refreshing, going, "Oh, when's Elden Ring Part 6?"
No,
And
no,
then
no.
when
The
it
people
drops,
at home need to be distracted from the war.
Exactly.
They need Happy Wheels 105.
they need it.
If the war happens and they say I'm going to be drafted, I'd be like, if I start Happy Wheels again, can I get out of this?
We could use this podcast, and we'll say, "Look,
Shut up! I'm drafting."
not quite."
Shut up, propaganda.
Well, yeah, a little bit. We could say, like, "Look, we will continue to host the podcast, and we'll just throw some propaganda military bits in there every once in a while."
Change the T behind us to a big M.
Yeah, I mean, look at where are the soldiers? There they are.
What's
There
the
they
like
are.
Uncle Sam of England? You know, the I need you, Uncle
Ooh.
Sam. What's the
Watch this.
Was it Churchill? Was it just Churchill being like, war?
We'll meet them in the beaches?
So, but I don't think we're not going to. Okay, but how else would you not get drafted?
Oh, sorry. I would. I'd probably just. Do you want me to be genuinely realistic? Because I have thought about
Yes.
this. I'd turn around to them and go, if you give me a gun, I will shoot myself and everyone around me. And like just threat. If you say that, they
The Dick Cheney defense.
if you say like no, but genuinely, if I turn around to them, this is true. If I turn around to them and go, I am mentally unstable, and if you give me a gun, I'm going to shoot everyone around me and then myself. They're not going to risk that.
I probably nearly pissed myself with that one.
I
did not
First wet
expect
of
you.
the week.
And your eyes went all wide as well when you said
That's
it.
why it's convincing.
I also love how you said, do you want me to be super realistic about this? And that was your answer.
That was it. I'm so serious. If I was going to get drafted and I didn't want to be drafted, that's exactly what I'd do.
To be fair, saying you're mentally unstable for the military, I think is probably one of the most...
It does work.
I'd say I'm mentally unstable, and I'd
defenses.
show them one of the mod videos.
Probably now going to get before we get like a message from the government saying you can't say that on a podcast because now everyone's going to tell us they're going to shoot themselves.
Here's what I did to people in a video game. Now real life time.
Now, if this is what I can do in Unturned, imagine what I can do in
I'm
real
freaking
life.
crazy, man. I'm going to do some crazy shit.
COD Blop 7. Real. But no, it's real.
Tommy in it, more like Tommy the Bullet is in it you.
Is this what his jokes were? Stand-up at the comedy clubs were.
They're not much better.
I did see one of your jokes was,
this.
please don't leave me, I'm going to kill myself, was
No,
one of
it
your
was-
jokes. And I was like, good punchline,
I hope my
Tom.
parents don't get divorced.
No, they are though.
I know, and I hope they didn't. And I said I would kill myself if they didn't.
I'll save this situation. I'll move you away from controversy and move it to you. Last time I saw you,
my controversy.
yeah, your turn. Last time I saw you, we did that famous TommyInnit video where
We
you
did.
said a thing that got you in bother.
Yeah.
Every
which
so
I-
often it
which-
pops up again.
I'm going to say I thought it was unnecessary, but that's look.
And you know what? It's mad given how much we cut out of that video.
I was
We
going to
cut-
say, there was so many other people that could have gotten cancelled.
and we all of us went off in that video.
It
and
was
then
it
all,
was kind of like the theme for the video, and I was like, you kept my one in, but you cut all the other ones out.
all of us cut. No, we cut a lot of yours as well.
I was only asking the questions.
All of us.
I didn't say anything about anybody else.
We all did.
Look,
Okay.
it's fine. I'm not actually looking to rehash that, but it reminded me that you expressed some disdain. That's fine.
Right.
I'm curious because the internet's changed a lot in the time you've been on it, right?
Right.
What is your like current thoughts on like I don't know, like what do you think of TikTok? What do you think of short form? Like, I'm just so curious what you think about like the current space and the things that are really dominating right now.
I used to think TikTok was really cringe, and then I was like, well, it's not going anywhere, and everyone's having fun. And I feel like there's a lot of funnier people out there that can't do longer form content, and stuff like that is perfect for them. And I think it gives a lot of people a chance to show themselves off. It's a shame they don't make any money off of it, and they have to go elsewhere for it. But it's also one of those things where it's like, I think successful people have a tendency to think that the way they got success is the right way of doing it.
Sure.
But I think what I did is not spectacular. It's not unique. It's not like, I didn't do anything that somebody else couldn't do. And there's a lot of hard work, but there's a lot of luck involved in it as well. So it's like, if I say anything about something else, it's like, what the fuck do I know?
Yeah, I'm not even so much talking.
But like also, not really.
I'm not even so much talking from like a perspective of like whether it's easier or harder, just sort of like,
I think the landscape's probably changed for the worse, and I don't think shorts and TikTok are the problem. I think they're just a result of something that was happening naturally anyway.
What was happening naturally?
Like attention spans, people's like patience for stuff is all running very thin. I think the internet's getting very angry very quickly. Just in general.
Is though.
I don't know. I think people are just, before it was like people had a mask on, they were like hiding what their real thoughts on things were. Certain things happen in the world where now like people are kind of like pushing the boundaries a little more. And now it's like, oh, I can be an asshole and get an audience for that. I don't have to like hide controversial opinions anymore.
I really feel like that comes in waves.
Yeah, probably.
Like, I don't know if you've been about for a while, but like I've always felt that like the internet does this weird rubber band where it like remember like 2016 Leafy and shit, where like the whole thing was being as much of a dick as possible, and that's what got you big. And then it kind of goes the other way, and everyone goes like really quite like kind for a while. And I feel like we're on and then all of a sudden Andrew Tate came out nowhere and got really big, and I'm like, are we back on the? Yeah, it's like we just flip all the time.
I feel like we talked about that a little bit, where like first generation YouTubers very much like, this is my platform, but it's a springboard to like Hollywood, whatever.
Right.
And everyone kind of like lost their way. And then a more sincere, genuine generation came in, which I think was mine, where it's like, I'm just me and I just want to do my thing. And then it kind of got a bit more corporate again. And I think it's probably going to go back to that. Like people will get tired of that.
Right.
It's like phones and watches and stuff. And like it goes big, it goes small, it goes big. Like everyone wants what they don't have.
Right. Okay.
And I think now I think that Mr. Beast thing was a product. It's not just him, it's like everybody trying to figure out how the system works. And I think now it's more definitive than it's ever been to be like, these tactics work better than they've ever done.
Yeah, it's like
before it was like everyone's trying to figure out the algorithm, but you never really could. And now people have kind of like figured it out a bit better than they ever have. So now all thumbnails look the same, editing styles kind of look the same, the type of like onboarding people onto a video all is kind of the same. So it's not that everybody has their different type of content. It's that everyone has their different type of content, but they present it sort of the same way.
Yeah, sure. That's
like gaming videos now kind of look like, well, if that type of content was in gaming, what would it look like? And everyone like takes those strengths of everything else, and everything's a bit more homogenized than it's ever been.
That's true.
What does that mean?
It's just like everything's kind of like the same as each other now.
Sure. Yeah, it feels like there's a weird, like, correct way to edit now, which I don't think was ever a thing.
Which I'm sure people can argue is not really the case, but it just kind of, but from a top level down, it kind of feels like
that's definitely like every video is like, here's the video, here's some highlights, here's why you should stay.
Yeah.
Subscribe to me.
And it's like,
now
I'm playing this game,
music.
But I have to explain to you what the game is before I do
and why it's good and why it's worth your time. And I love you.
Yeah, you've kind of got to like hook people on things where I feel like people were more willing to give things a shot.
Yeah, and that's also a product of like YouTube promotes that, YouTube rewards that. You can't swear in the beginning, you can't swear in titles. Like everything's just kind of getting whittled down to the same thing. And everything's getting very similar.
I think they've realized what advertisers prefer. I think that's a big part of it. I think the corporate space around YouTube is sort of setting a little bit. Like it was it was like wet concrete when it first came in, and like no one really knew what was going on. I feel like it's like hardening.
Because the Mr. Beast thing was a bit of a ridiculous thing to happen. And I messaged him immediately as it was happening, and I was like, hey, this video like wasn't that serious. Like we weren't really trying to like take anyone down.
Yeah.
And he was like, yeah, sorry, I was just in a weird headspace at the time, and he apologized and everyone was happy and fine. But like people like H3 come out and say like, oh, people have always been doing that. And I'm like, technically that's true. Like he had a point. People have always been trying to like game the system and get as much money out of it as possible.
Yeah.
As many views, but I don't think it's ever been as easily done as it is now.
No, I think when you look at like Felix, for example, and compare him to Mr. Beast, like two people that were like considered like they're the guy.
Yeah.
I think that like the difference is like quite clear, and like I feel like Felix, I don't, I can't speak on his behalf, but like to me, it always felt like he was just kind of doing what he wanted.
Yeah.
And Mr. Beast feels more like he's sort of like figured out what he should be doing, and that feels like the difference. It's like one's a guy just doing things, and like it was no coincidence it did well, but he knew how to deliver what he wanted to deliver, and Mr. Beast knows what people want him to deliver. I think it's like
it's not really his fault that worked, and then everybody who copied it also worked.
Yeah, it's like of course
It's just a very risk-averse landscape now, isn't it?
Yeah,
I think it's
Oh man, whoever just said that risk-averse point, they were pretty smart.
Shut up, I'm
wait.
talking. I think it also kind of comes down to the idea that personality drove the content, and now it's like personality is kind of like secondary
to the content.
to what it's like. Everyone has to come up with an idea for the video, the title, and the thumbnail before it's even done. If you're recording Fortnite, you don't just get in and play Fortnite anymore. You have to be like, what's the thing?
What's the shtick?
What's the narrative that I'm trying to drive? Which has made content probably production-wise is better than it's ever been. I think people's content has...
Well, you say that, but
the bar of quality is quite high now.
That's true. Oh, quality. Okay, because I was about to say that quantity-wise, it's like lower than it's ever been. Because you were posting 2 a day. We said that earlier.
Well, that's also the thing that I want to bring up, that like people look back on that, but it wasn't technically great content. It's like you upload like 20 minutes of a Let's Play.
It, sure.
It's just a product of its time, I think. I'm glad it worked because it just had way less effort than things do now. If you want to make content now, you have to have like a much higher bar of quality.
Yeah, but great content is very subjective, I think. Like, for example, Bruce Springsteen's album, The River, he spent years and years on doing, right? And he made it this amazing thing. And then after that, he just released a load of his demos he'd done. But the reason he released his demos is because they had the soul in. And sometimes that's all you need.
I think you're talking about art versus content. And I don't think content is art.
Do you not think so?
No.
Why?
I think content is designed to be...
You need to watch
it's like watching
Minecraft.
I think about it a lot. Like, you watch an A24 film versus a Marvel movie. Both have their place. Both are important.
Sure. Yeah, sure.
One's content, one's
But it depends what content now,
It's like saying the best movies in the world and the most artistic movies in the world are the Avatar movies because they make the most money and they have the most people seeing.
Sure. Which is
it's like saying, like...
The thing that I personally don't like is in, you know, there's content and then you've got a movie, right? And in the movie industry, there is rewards for being popular, which is the box office, and everyone's excited about that. And then there's rewards for quality. People discuss quality with the Oscars. With YouTube, there is kind of only the box office. There's not a community that really talks about the quality of a video. Whenever you chat to a creator about video, they say things like, this one's going to bang. I really love this one. This thumbnail's going to work.
That's what I mean. That's what success is determined by on YouTube. But it doesn't really work. Like Bruce Springsteen, it's like you have an album that hits you harder because there's emotion in it. It comes from a place of something. Me playing Happy Wheels, there's no art behind that. I guess you could say there's an art to the performance in it, but I don't think there's like a message behind it. There's no emotion attached to it. I'm not trying to like say anything with that.
Would you say you've made art then?
Yeah. I made like short films and stuff that I
did see that, the COVID one.
Yeah.
I saw that one.
And I was inspired by Bo Burnham because I watched Inside and I was like, yeah, what's my experience of COVID? And I want to challenge myself.
Yeah.
And I'd say that's more artistic than something else I do. I think content is there to like fill the gap and it's what I do. It's my job. Sure. But I don't think all the content I make is artistic.
Sure.
That's reasonable. I would definitely say a lot.
And you can argue that all you want. It's so subjective to people. But I think it is ridiculous that we as YouTubers determine all the success of a platform with how fast someone's growing, how big the numbers they have are. But it's like, if you look at the content, is it good? Do you enjoy it? Does it hit you? Like you have videos that you watch that you're like Life is Strange. You probably think fondly of that because you know where you were at the time, or you know how you felt, you know what it meant to you. There was a story behind it, but you don't really remember like, oh, Happy Wheels episode 55, where was I during that?
Well, I think what I found shocking is always dependent on the person, isn't it? Like some people are like, this video of yours I've rewatched 100 times. And I'm like, oh, wow, to me, that is one of my videos I just put out. Then other people, you know, it's just everyone's like personal experience.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like it's so subjective with everybody that they can probably see art in the content that you've made, but you probably didn't intend it that way.
There's like elements of the quality of it, but there is also things like, you know, I just made a video about like, or a few months ago I made one like, I'm not a kid anymore, right? To some like 30-year-old, they might watch that and be like, oh, he is still a kid, he's 20. To a person my age might watch that and be like, oh my God, he's really connected with all these things I'm feeling. And I think it's a mixture of the actual art that's there, but also what the person takes.
Yeah, the person receiving it.
Yeah.
But it's also kind of ridiculous that we live in a space where it's like people don't want to make that content because it doesn't do well. and it doesn't do well because numbers are king.
I think that's turning around. I think there's like because I think we're not the only 3 people that have ever fucking said that. I think
for sure.
a lot of people are saying that, and I think hopefully, fingers crossed, it's not much time before people saying that turns into people acting on it.
It just needs to get rewarded more, I think. And it's also, people get tired of the thing they have. They see a type of content for so long. They're like, oh, that's boring now. I want to watch something else.
Yeah, that's what,
Yeah.
But it does fill the gap, and it is, again, people are getting angrier. They don't want to attach themselves to anything. They just want to watch shit and forget about how shit life is.
Or how strange life is.
Oh,
Jacksepticeye?
Yes.
This is an awesome question I wrote down.
this one's going to make us less miserable about how shit life is.
What's the stupidest shit you've ever bought? For me, I bought them 4... Oh, where are my lightsabers, man? I bought 4 lightsabers. They're very high end.
They're good replicas.
They're very good
I
replicas.
don't know where they've gone.
There they are.
There they are.
Those are my lightsabers.
Do you want to put it on camera? You want to grab it?
Yeah, man.
Where did you buy them from?
I must admit, you've
This
got the
shop now
shittest
that-
one because it's raised.
The
and I
shop now
hate
that's
it.
closed in town.
So
but-
they're not like the...
Oh, you can hear that, audio listeners.
hate that it's yellow.
Yeah, I hate this. But it's really nice.
It is a really
It's
good
weighty.
replica.
It's fucking weighty.
So these aren't the ones that you get at like Disneyland.
No, fuck
No,
that.
those are shit. They're very good. I got a Darth Maul one.
Yeah, look, this
Oh,
is
it's
the
a
Vader
Qui-Gon
one.
Jinn's.
This is Vader's. Look, this is Ahsoka's. Watch this.
Is that Ahsoka's?
Yeah, look, when you hit them. Anyway, this is the stupidest shit I've ever bought.
I mean, why is it stupid?
Because I spent loads and loads of money on a lightsaber.
But now we have them on camera and you're going like, look how cool this is. They make noise. That doesn't make it stupid.
No, I spent too much money on these.
How much were they? Be honest.
No.
We can cut it. or
I
censor it.
actually can't say. It's against everything I stand.
We can censor it in the podcast.
This one was...
That is a lot.
It's not that.
It's more than I thought.
I did it.
I got a
It was
replica Darth
because we
Maul
bought
one.
it for the Dome show, and then I convinced myself it was needed. And then afterwards, I went, I really shouldn't have done that.
Company purchase. I have bought like statues for like Bloodborne and stuff that were like...
Oh yeah, you're a Bloodborne. You had the tattoo, don't you?
Sure do.
Yeah, Bloodborne.
But stuff like that, I mean, I guess you could see it as a stupid purchase. I bought a racing car simulator that you sit in and it has like proper pedals and steering wheel.
That
And
cinema room must
it
have not
moves.
been cheap.
no.
Yeah, if you have to laugh.
But that's not a stupid purchase. I love that thing.
Yeah, true.
The racing sim thing, I've been very tempted by.
Yeah, and I
You could
used
just
it.
go to the Odeon though, and it's 15 quid a month on unlimited for free.
Yeah, but
Are you
eventually,
fucking sponsored by Odeon? Sucks.
I love Odeon.
They're like going
they
out of
don't.
business, aren't
we
they?
love you, Odeon. We love you, love you, love you. So you could have just done that, but Would've
There's
saved
also
you
a VR racing room down by the marina you can go to.
Oh, there's one in Churchill Square as well. I did
that sounds
there.
crummy. Not Odeon.
It's all right. It's not bad.
You've been.
I've been. I love sim racing. I love cars. You know this.
Yeah. But I bought my own and then used it for a bit and then was like, okay, it's a bit of a pain in the ass to set it up each time. So I haven't used it in a while. So that's probably stupid that I bought.
So probably
Yeah,
your
they're not
statues
cheap
and your-
either.
That's not
No.
terrible though.
No, those racing sims are expensive.
It's, yeah.
Was it quite expensive?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Look, I really need a piss.
You didn't even ask me my stupidest thing.
What did you?
I didn't even buy it.
That
My girlfriend
stupid
bought it
car
for
you're
me.
gonna get.
She bought me a beer draft machine for my house. I've got beer on tap in my house. But
That's pretty cool.
it is cool, but it's not cheap. It's not that bad, but like it.
That is quite cool.
This is just 3 fucking assholes talking
Three
about
white
how
guys.
much money they have that they can just piss away on stupid shit.
My girlfriend bought it.
For the record,
guys.
mine is by far the cheapest out of all the things you'd cut.
No. The beer machine was less than a lightsaber. That's
Well,
mad. I've
no,
got beer
sorry.
for life.
But look, I really need a piss. Let's just quickly check, Jack.
All right, let's do it.
Check on them.
Sure, if you want to do the honors.
Check how the worms are doing.
How the worms doing?
the fuck is this?
That's
Check how the worms are doing, mate.
What if I
Don't
just
drop
the
them,
whole
no.
thing?
Don't drop the worms;
This
they'll all
is
die.
disgusting. What is wrong with you?
They're the worms, and
They're
we
the
check
worms,
how
and
they're
we check
doing.
on
Tell
them.
the audience.
Is this your excuse to have like, oh, we're fun, quirky, gimmicky bit for the podcast?
No, it's not an
No,
excuse.
it's our
It just
fucking
is our
worms,
bit.
mate.
Okay, why do you have worms?
Because we wanted
We
them.
want to check on how they're doing.
For what?
Because it's fun.
It's cool. Do you have any joy left in your fucking heart?
No.
Fuck.
I've done YouTube for 12 years. What do you think?
Christ almighty. You don't have to.
I'm
go on.
here.
Check how
Tell me
the
I'm
worms are doing,
scraping the
you
fucking
man.
Check how the worms
Check how the
are.
worms are doing, you fucking
Well, you've not even
complainer.
seen them. I can
I
tell.
have. How many are in here?
Bloody misery.
Couple?
Pass me that.
A couple. I see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Maybe that one's doubled up. That
How are they?
yeah, great worms, guys.
Yeah, we had to get. So turns out, I'm just going to break the illusion a little bit. You can't keep worms forever; it's cruel. So we have to get new worms every once in a while. So this is no longer microphone, but I don't want to name it because I'll get attached and be sad when we have
So
to.
these
There's
guys
like-
are
there's
the
like 10
stupidest
worms.
purchase you've ever made.
no
Off. You can't just come in here and be a dick.
to the
You
worms.
said you're just going to kill them and move on.
No, we don't kill them. We let them
Are
free,
you-
Sean.
Where do you let worms free in Brighton?
The park around the corner.
The birds will get them.
We don't
That's
do it.
so cruel.
We-
I can't believe you would do that.
We don't do it.
my
Like,
God.
take the worms away. I can't get attached. This is fucked that you guys would do
Well,
that.
there they are. There's the worms for those wondering.
Oh
There you
my
are.
God.
Love you, worms.
We love those worms. But that does wrap our episode. But don't worry, because we have the Patreon where we're going to be doing even more fun stuff.
Oh yes, we are.
Can I be unhinged on that?
Seamless
what
transition.
you want on the Patreon.
Oh, you can. You can say whatever you want about whoever you want, and guess what? It will still get clipped.
And they have to pay to see it.
But they have to pay.
You
initially.
need to pay us money.
Let's do our seamless transition.
Okay.